Hey everybody, welcome to Culinary Characters Unlocked. I'm David Page. On this episode, a chef who just spent a year on a massive culinary project, cooking the foods of as many different countries as he could jam into 12 months. And he's turning all that work into a cookbook. Here's Matthew Timoszyk. Chef, how you doing? Thanks for being here.
Good morning, David. How are you?
I am delightful, and you?
I'm doing very good this morning. Thank you.
So I am struck by the magnitude of your latest project, the Culinary Expedition. You are cooking recipes from like 150 countries or more. That's a very intense way to research a book. Why are you doing this?
I have what they call a culinary year, and it starts on May 1st. Not trying to belittle myself, but I've already written 2 cookbooks.
Been there, done that.
And this really didn't start out as a cookbook project, but in the back of my mind, I'm going, this is going to make a book. So I decided, because I'm surrounded here in Northern California by East Indians, Mexicans, Latins, Hmong, Vietnamese.
If there's a cuisine, you guys have it.
And I'm in farm country. So I decided, what the hell?
A lot of good things in life start with that phrase, as do a lot of bad things, but
I get asked this question a lot, and the question is, how do you pick your countries? Well, the easiest way I could figure it out back then, almost a year ago, was look at the UN. So I got the list of the UN countries, which is 193, and I picked them basically by random. And I actually left off a few countries because I already cooked or prepared meals from those countries.
such as?
Like India. My second wife is Indian, and I was taught how to prepare homemade Indian food.
Northern or Southern? I mean, there's so many cuisines in India.
My ex-wife is actually from Fiji because she's of Indian descent. A lot of people don't know this, that Fiji has a very high population of Indian folks.
I didn't have a clue.
She was born in Fiji. She didn't become a U.S. citizen until she was 18.
I'm getting a little lost in the marriages. This is not your current wife, who is also from India?
No. I've been married 3 times. My current wife of 25 years.
Seems like that one's stuck.
Yeah, this one's stuck. We're very happily married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And Mexican. My wife Robin loves Mexican food. I cook Mexican a lot. That's just an example of 2 countries that I didn't anticipate preparing meals from.
As part of the project.
Yeah, for the project. So I choose it basically by random. It's almost like throwing a dart.
I want to go through a bunch of them.
Sure.
I don't think we'll get to 192, but I want to get there first. Have you always had an interest in, this is almost a stereotypical phrase, in international cuisines?
I have. When I was in the military, I worked with people from all over the country, from the Bayou to New York City, Southern California, and of course, Northern California, in Texas. When you go to basic training, I actually went through basic training with somebody from Nepal.
As most people do.
Yeah. And again, living in such a diverse community, when you're at 19 and you're already pushing forward into the cuisine world, it was an easy choice to do that.
Okay, you were 19. Let's back up a little to even get to that point. Where were you born?
I was born just outside of Detroit, the youngest of 4, grew up in a middle-class family. And then the next question is how did I start cooking?
Before, how did you start cooking even? Was food a big part of your family's?
Yeah.
I mean, some families live to eat, some eat to live.
Being from the Midwest, I hope my mother never sees this. My mother was not the best cook.
Well, she wasn't the worst because the worst cook was my mother.
But you being on the East Coast, when you travel to the United States, in the world, you know that there are people who just cook to produce a meal.
Right.
My mom and dad they graduated high school in the late 50s, so they kind of grew up in that era of Midwest meat and potatoes.
And the onset of convenience food, did they do a lot of that?
In which my mother didn't serve very much.
Really?
Compared to modern families. But, I grew up on things like meatloaf and pot roast and, with my Polish. My mom's not Polish. My dad is 100% Polish.
So was there Polish food in the household? Your mother was cooking, so...
Very little. We would have kielbasa and potatoes, and I didn't really know what sauerkraut was until later on in life. But I grew up on, the old Ortega taco.
The package, yeah.
I never starved.
Did you dabble in there? There are some great, I hate this term, but I'll use it, ethnic cuisine in the Detroit area. Did you get into Lebanese food at all when you were younger?
Lebanese food, in the 70s and 80s was not really a thing. There was a lot of Polish, a lot of Greek. Detroit for decades, has had a Greek town.
Is that where the Coney Island dog thing came from? Yeah.
Yes.
That cinnamon spice
Yep.
chili that isn't chili. I can't stand Cincinnati chili, so I probably can't stand Detroit chili.
Actually, Coney Island chili and Cincinnati chili are complete opposites.
What, they both suck? Well, in Detroit, there's those two Coney Island. For anyone who doesn't know, Coney Island is the Detroit term for a hot dog covered with this bizarre chili. There's the two places right next door to each other that are like rivals or not. I go to this one, you go to that. What are they?
I don't remember the names. I haven't had Coney Island chili in decades.
When did you realize that food was of interest to you if you were growing up on meatloaf and Ortega tacos?
My mother being from that generation, she did a lot of roasting. If I wanted a juicy pork chop, I had to do it myself because she was taught you roasted pork to death to get rid of the trichinosis.
God forbid. And now the USDA says you can serve it at 135, I think, or 145.
So that's truly how I really got the interest.
So like you're in high school and you're making your own meals at this point?
Oh, yeah. I'm not like these wonder kids you see on TV that start at the age of 5 baking cakes.
You grow up in a bland food household. You start dabbling in cooking on your own as a sort of self-preservation technique. When did it become more than that? You went to school there, right? Did you go to college there?
Matter of fact, I did. I didn't do a lot of cooking in college because you're not allowed to cook in the dorm. But I went to a small college called Olivet College. Actually, it's technically called Olivet University now. It's in Olivet, Michigan, which is just about 45 minutes from Battle Creek.
You were rolling in cereal.
This is true. When you drive through Battle Creek, you smell the cornflakes.
Oh, my God. Okay, so you go to college there. What happens after college? What did you want to do?
Actually, I got about 2 years through college, and then I ran out of money. So I joined the United States Air Force.
Where were you stationed?
I was stationed here in Northern California at Beale Air Force Base, which is about an hour or so north of Sacramento. It's in the middle of nowhere, like most Air Force bases are. While I was in the service, I actually helped maintain and inspect the U-2 spy plane, also known as the Dragon Lady.
Cool.
Spent 4 years in the service. I married my college sweetheart, and she moved out to California with me, and we started a household. Being on an airman's salary, which is nothing.
Less than nothing, I'm told.
Yeah. I learned how to cook on a budget.
What were you doing?
Buying the cheapest cuts of protein and making something out of it. That's when you're taking something like a beef stew meat and making stir fries out of it.
A lot of braising, a lot of low and slow.
A lot of braising and taking tough cuts and making it work. Taking things like popcorn shrimp and making stir fries out of it because you can't afford $6, $7 for a half a pound of 2120s. A lot of vegetable dishes, lots of salads. And I'm talking like macaroni salad, potato salad, because you can make something like that in bulk and mass and eat it throughout the week.
This was back before we were all talking about local and seasonal, but up there's great produce.
Oh, excellent produce.
Were you getting into that?
From Beale Air Force Base to the next biggest town, I'm not going to use the word city, but town, it's about a 25-mile drive.
How did that impact your culinary development?
You learn how to shop. We had the commissary, which was just another word for supermarket. But if you really wanted the good produce, you went to town. We had some wonderful markets here back then, and this is 30-some years ago.
When dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Before Emerald made his appearance, all the cooking shows were PBS, before Food Network was even existing.
We'll be right back.
Then I started understanding and learning about the diverse community. You're on the East Coast. You understand Mexican food isn't real until you pass the Mississippi River.
These days, you get some that is, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like I haven't had a decent bagel since I left home 30-some years ago.
And you won't. So you're discovering food while you're in the Air Force.
Discovering what real food looks like, fresh. This is before truly the markets really were starting to carry, they were doing only seasonal before the international trade really picked up. Then one of the airmen I worked with, he moved or something. I don't remember exactly how I got it, but he gifted me a complete McCormick set of herbs and spices. Let's have fun. I think my first wife was going to kill me for a while because I was putting some stuff together that was just wrong.
Well, did that contribute to the breakup?
No.
Okay.
So a lot of experimentation. I didn't know what I was doing. A lot of smell, a lot of, just simple tastes, trying to go through, will this work with this? And just pure experimentation. Whether you're on the East Coast or West Coast or the middle of the country, we're taught, like I was taught, well, East Indian food's always hot. I don't like East Indian food because it's hot. Or they say the same thing about Mexican food.
Right.
That's kind of where it really started.
How did it grow from that to you cooking professionally?
Several jobs later, 2 wives later. I've had 2 careers in my life. Obviously, food, culinary. And I also worked and just retired from the entertainment industry as a lighting specialist. And I was looking for a lighting company in Sacramento. And I was already basically mastered mother sauces. And I was cooking seriously as a home cook, doing as much international that I can, began being in the environment that I'm in.
When you were in the Air Force, apparently you'd spend some time overseas on an entertainment tour.
Yes.
Did that influence your cooking or your interest?
Yes, it did. Because I was the lighting director for the Tops and Blue tour, like in 89, 90, right before the Desert War started, the first Desert War. We visited plenty of countries where we had air bases. And so I got to try the local cuisine. Not always, because sometimes we were on such a busy schedule.
You're on the base, yeah.
I mean, I ate more barbecue chicken and pizza on tour. I didn't eat pizza for like a year.
Right.
So that opened my eyes. South Korea, Japan, Germany, Italy, France, the UK definitely turned on another switch.
But I interrupted your story. You're out of the Air Force. You're in the lighting industry.
In the lighting industry, and we would have these potlucks. The company is about 75 employees, the second largest lighting company in Northern California at the time. So we would have these potlucks, and I wouldn't bring just the normal. I mean, I brought beef stroganoff. Who brings beef stroganoff to a potluck?
Makes you popular.
So every time we had a potluck, it's like, what's Matthew bringing? So that's when I became a personal chef.
You just started picking up clients off of that?
Yeah. And then I had friends in the theater industry in the city that I live. I was doing their parties. So that's how Casual Chef began.
Which is the name of your...
That's the name of my company, my culinary company.
What kind of food were you cooking as a personal chef?
I actually sous chefed with a visiting teacher on sushi.
Hello.
I learned a lot about sushi that day because we went to the market for the fish. We went to an Asian store for the sake and the better soy sauce. And I learned a lot.
After doing this for 10 years, you decide to go to culinary school?
Yep.
What motivated that?
I was actually crazy enough to try to work a full-time job at the lighting company and go to a private academy, I'm not going to name its name, at night for $15,000.
How'd that work?
I didn't do it. My wife begged me not to do it. And actually, I had several friends beg me, don't do it. You're going to burn out. I stayed with the lighting company and I got laid off. After nearly 10 years, I got laid off. Things got really weird in the industry.
Yeah.
So I decided, because I was getting unemployment insurance, let's go to school. So I did.
Culinary school.
Culinary school.
After cooking for so many years, what did it teach you?
My stock answer is it taught me what I didn't know.
Which was what? I mean, you had knife skills, you had a palate.
I taught knife skills.
Okay.
No, it taught me. I was actually auditing catering classes because I wanted to learn more about catering, more about how to take something this and make it to this. It's not just a simple number. It's not just a simple multiplication. Because when you get into the herbs and spices and some of the more smaller details, it's about touch, feel, taste. I wanted to learn more about the business of the culinary world. I had professors, we were more friends than we were student professor. I still communicate with them today. Matter of fact, two of them are retired. Anytime I can get my hands on more recipes or more ideas for a new recipe, it's worth it.
So you come out of culinary school and now you take real jobs, quote unquote.
Yes.
Where'd you go?
I went from culinary school into a banquet house where I started as a sous chef. Everything we did was roasted. We didn't have a flat top. This banquet room has always been known for its prime rib. So everything was roasted. We had a bank of 6 ovens. I worked with a lot of fresh produce. We had farmers bringing us produce out of their fields almost on a daily basis.
You got promoted there to executive chef.
Yes, started as a sous, and then my boss, the exec, she wanted to go spend more time with her young child. So I got promoted to exec. I had a small staff, but very loyal and very hardworking staff. Yeah, that worked out for a while. And then I was approached by a non-culinary person who wanted to open a restaurant. But it was really funny. It's just right down the street. And he wanted to do something a little more than casual, but not fine dining. We worked for several months developing a menu and doing the usual things. I had a great sous chef who had great ideas, great skills. It was very eclectic. One of the things I'm really kind of known for is my creme brulee.
What's the secret to your creme brulee?
Don't leave it alone. Pay attention. And Mexican vanilla.
Then you moved on to a resort?
Just like across the country, we have, large casinos. And I went to Thunder Valley Casino and Resort, where I actually worked the line in their 24-hour cafe. And a lot of people who know me know I hate barbecuing. And the reason is I don't have the patience. That's why I'm a stir-fry guy.
Gotcha.
Stir fry is fast.
But here you were grilling.
Here, when I was on the line, I worked the grill station. And it took everything out of me to be patient. And I actually have your sous chef hammering on you at the same time.
Back in a moment. Is there something weird about cooking at a casino? I mean, it's not a crowd that came for the food.
I was very fortunate. It's probably one of the best working experiences in my life outside of the kitchen because they provided our uniforms. We had a nice changing room. We had lockers. We had our own dining facility. You see all these memes, all these stories about how line guys and gals sitting on buckets eating, table scraps. Not at the casino. We were given fresh cooked food every day.
Why'd you move on?
I had a little break. I've been battling mental health issues since I was a kid. I was working the line one night and I had a severe anxiety attack to the point I thought I was having a heart attack.
There is so much pressure in so many kitchens. Does it have to be that way?
No.
Is the business getting any better in your view? I mean, there was the Me Too reckoning a few years ago and Mario Batali lost his gig, but how much better or not is it, do you think?
It's getting better, but not in the steps that most of us want to see it happen.
You mean not fast enough or not big enough?
I just started communicating with a UK program called the Burnt Chef Project. There's a US contingent. It's not an offshoot, they're in direct communication, but they provide free mental health services to people in the industry.
Well, whatever criticism you hear about toxic kitchens, then you see shows like The Bear, which I love, but it's Yes Chef. It's still the verbal violence of the brigade system. And people seem to embrace that and celebrate that in popular culture. That's not good.
No. I've run brigades, I've run crews in the entertainment industry. You get less work or bad work out of people by being mean. It doesn't work. I've tried it.
So you step away from commercial kitchens. You go back into personal chefing?
Yes, but not in the traditional sense. After I left the casino, I actually quit cooking. My wife and I ate out almost every night. If I was cooking, it was stupid simple. Nothing like I'm doing today, by far. I was having a mental break at the same time. My docs, my therapists were all trying to get me out of the funk. And I spent several months in a really bad place. And then one day I decided I got to get out of this. And the only thing that saved me, and not from death, but just saved my soul, was cooking. That's where the first book comes from. Those recipes are from the first year of me cooking full time.
What's the name of that book?
Recipes are just guidelines.
So that got you out of your funk.
Yeah, and I've been upwards and forward ever since. The first year, I think I prepared over 350 recipes. I cooked most of, like 99% of the year. Now you can see how this is building up to what I'm doing today.
Well, let's talk about what you're doing today.
Sure.
The Culinary Expedition. We talked briefly at the beginning, but explain the project.
Going back to the list of UN countries, there's 193, and I am preparing as many as humanly possible without driving my wife crazy.
A dish from each country, is that it?
A dish or dishes from each country. Now, we briefly talked about my herb and spice obsession. I already have custom blends from almost all corners of the world that I have done myself, due to research, both tasting research and book research. So which kind of leads into the Culinary Expedition. And now I'm taking what I've learned from the cultures of these spice blends into the actual kitchen and cooking the meals that go with these blends. So a lot of times, if I don't have that blend for that dish, I'll create it.
And you're selling these?
Yeah, I have over 50 custom international herb and spice blends on my website,
which is
casualchef.us.
At some point when you're done with this project, you're planning to turn these recipes into a book. Let me go through some of them with you. What are some of the recipes that you've developed that you just think are balls to the wall? I
will say, out of the right now it's about 143 total, and then by end of next week it'll be 147. There are I can count on one hand how many dishes I didn't like. Now, one of the things when I was choosing dishes was I was choosing something you couldn't get in a restaurant if it was a main country.
Well, but when we get, quote, ethnic food, it tends to be celebration food as opposed to everyday food.
A lot of it is. That's one thing I've noticed over the months is a lot of it is connected to some type of celebration, whether it's a marriage or birth, even a death. One of the first recipes I did was a beef stroganoff from 1871.
From Russia?
From Russia.
Okay, and what's different about it in 1871?
The sauce is simpler. There's no mushrooms. And this is where I really started learning about paprikas.
Paprika just grows in a jar, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. My paprika collection and my chili powder collection have grown vastly.
So to do this the right way, it required a specific paprika.
Oh yeah.
Where'd you get that?
Online. If I couldn't source it here in Yuba City, because I have some great markets, but Amazon was my friend, to be quite honest. But I also discovered several other herb and spice companies. I would actually learn about them on Amazon and actually go to their website and get it off their website.
That stroganoff, did it have cream or milk in it?
Very little. It's not as wet as the modern version.
You did Russia. You did other places in that part of the world.
All right, I'm going to actually go back up north to Belarus. I just did these recently. A Belarusian, they're called kolduni. I'm probably saying it wrong. My wife Robin almost called them like a latke. You take 2 potato pancakes and you put ground beef, herb and spice ground beef in the middle. You put 2 pancakes around it, seal it, and then you fry it.
Ooh.
That helped bring the score up for Central Europe.
Because otherwise, it's not high on your list.
Is bland. I am a spice guy.
Well, give me a couple of culinary cultures that impress the hell out of you.
I have actually fallen in love with African food.
Give me an example.
A Liberia pepper soup. That was really good. I'm a soup guy.
What's in Liberian pepper soup?
It's actually goat. This is the only goat dish I've done. Goat, onion, garlic, ginger, white pepper, and black pepper. Some thyme. The one thing I've been cheating in the entire series is, like, this particular recipe calls for a Scotch bonnet pepper. They're too hot for me, so I substitute Thai chilies.
What do you have from Asia?
Oh, that's easy. I love Asian food. Absolutely love it. All right. Soba noodle salad.
From Japan.
From Japan.
It sounds simple. What makes it special?
The ingredients are put together just beautifully for such a simple dish.
What are the ingredients?
Neutral oil, toasted sesame oil, crushed red peppers, some honey, soy sauce, dried soba noodles, of course, which is actually a buckwheat noodle, some green onions, some cilantro or coriander, and some white sesame seeds for garnish. The neutral oil won't really have a flavor to it, but the sesame oil and the soy sauce and the red chili flakes work really well with this as a sauce. But Japan is really known for its simplistic noodle dishes. And that for me, was not a plating challenge, but it's like I had fun plating it. You serve it with a hard-boiled egg. It was just a lot of fun to plate. When you cook this many meals, the plating ideas, you start to go, how am I going to make this one look different from the last one?
Give me something else from Asia.
Fish and lime soup.
From what country?
The Marshall Islands.
Oh.
I did a fresh fish stock. Actually, I did a broth, a cod broth. Lime. It's extremely simple, but the lime really works in that soup because it's extremely simple. And most of your viewers, I'm sure, know this. Fish stock or fish broth is fast. That's one of the things I really learned before going to culinary school doing that sushi gig. 10, 12 minutes, you're done.
For the United States, you picked as your dish creamy chicken succotash. What exactly is that, and why is that the representative dish for the USA?
I'm actually glad you brought this up.
Well, I'm glad I did too.
Okay, story behind it. I didn't cook this till late. Later in. But I wanted something to represent that's American, USA American, not just North America, that didn't come from another country.
Good luck with that.
Bingo.
Look, I wrote a whole book on how we made a cuisine out of the foods of other countries and cultures.
Why I waited as long as I did to do the USA dish. Because I was doing the research. You can't do Cajun, you can't do Italian. So I did a lot of research and I actually put a big question into my group. What food is American only? And you'd be surprised how many people got it wrong.
In what way is succotash American only? First of all, a lot of people don't know what the hell it is. What is it?
It's a dish that actually comes out of the South. It's more like a casserole than anything.
Okay, but what's in it?
There's several different ways to prepare succotash. I chose to do a protein-rich, which brings in the chicken. This has bacon, chicken. The other main ingredients are sweet corn and lima beans.
So is this a Native American dish originally?
It's actually an African-American dish, not Native American.
So this was a dish invented by presumably enslaved African Americans?
Yes. It went from the southeast and it migrated as the workers migrated, it brought it up into the Midwest. I always heard the word succotash growing up. Matter of fact, it's really funny. I think there's a cartoon character, Sylvester the cat.
Suffering succotash, yeah.
Boy, you can tell we're from the same era.
Is it good?
This is phenomenal.
Okay, so what's in it? You've got the vegetables, you've got...
Okay, you got bacon, you got chicken, red bell pepper, garlic, the corn, the lima beans. You can use pearl onions or you can use just a chopped onion. Hot sauce is optional if you want to give it a kick. Cream, butter, parsley or chives for garnish, and serve over cornbread or rice.
Ah.
As you know, Southeast America is known for its rice, just like we are here in my neck of the woods.
Sounds great.
It's a phenomenal meal. Both my wife and I both really enjoyed it.
How much more cooking do you have to do before you can turn all this into a book? We're recording this in March, in the third week of March.
I just had to make sure how many days are in April. April 30th is the last day.
That's it. So you're going to be in the 160s, you figure?
Upper 150s, low 160s. I'm pushing 3 recipes a week.
So what are some of the countries still to do?
Let's see. We'll start at the A's. Antigua, Benin, Burundi, Chad, Cameroon, Dominica. I didn't realize there was a Dominica and a Dominican Republic.
Who knew?
Congo.
You got a heck of a lot of work ahead of you in the next few weeks.
Latvia, Nauru. Nauru. Yeah, that's right. That's been one of the biggest challenges. I get to some of these countries, not the countries themselves, but it's the dishes that I look at, and you've struggled with it just during this interview, is you look at some of these names, especially like the Slavic ones, and you're like, how do you say that? It's like I'm doing a dish today. In fact, I got the recipe with me. Fiskir.
What is it and what country is it from?
It's a fish stew from Iceland.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be 90 degrees here, and I'm making stew.
Do they have spices in Iceland? They don't have any. It's like Hawaiian food is bland as hell because all they had was sea salt. So what do you spice in this thing with?
Onions. One thing I have learned doing all these North European, Central European, Eastern European is they rely on a lot of herbs, things like onion. Garlic is not always present in those countries, by the way. It's there, but it's not used a lot. It's not used like we use it here in the States.
Thinking that we're using it like Italy does, but we're going far overboard. Yeah.
This is a milk-based with a roux, white pepper, dill. Dill's real popular. They're very simple, but they rely on herbs and other vegetables
for flavor.
Because cod is a very bland fish.
Yeah, you open up the dictionary under bland, there's a picture of cod.
Yeah, you got to put something with it. I didn't know what I was going to find in Iceland because I've seen all these TV stuff, these TV programs on Iceland food or Icelandic food. And I'm going, oh my God, I have to do something salted in it. They have that one shark or whatever, that one fish that gets forever and stinks. And I'm like,
but you're not doing that. I will tell you, it's a stunning place. I saw the Northern Lights there.
Oh, I think it's a beautiful country. I would love to visit.
Okay, so chef, you're done with the recipes soon. How long till we see the book?
Well, I have to be honest. I've already started working on it. And how I'm going to organize it. One of the first things I did as part of the organization getting into this, I just didn't flip a light switch one day and go, I'm going to do 160 recipes out of the world. I looked at the regions, I was already deep into herb and spice profiles, like I mentioned before. So now, with a little bit of AI help, to be quite honest, and so I gave him the list, and one of the first things that came that I call AI Al, because that's what it looks like. It looks like Al.
So Al said,
you have covered almost every inch in the culinary world, every region. So that's what started how we're going to break this down, divide it up regionally.
I know about the pain of writing a book and how just sitting down to do it is sometimes a challenge. So you have my best wishes and all of my good luck thoughts.
Thank you.
Let me mention the two that you have out right now. Recipes Are Just Guidelines and Soup Symphony, a medley of flavors. And if anybody wants to know more about this project or you, or maybe buy something from your store, they can go to
www.casualchef.us. My books are available there. My herbs and spice blends are available there. I have a t-shirt line, a culinary t-shirt line.
You got it all.
Yeah.
Well, Chef, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, David.
All I can tell you is keep cooking.
All I know is I am going to take a little bit of a break this year.
Well, enjoy some time off, and I will look forward to the book whenever it comes out.
Great. Thank you, David. I ordered yours yesterday.
You're a great human being. Matthew Timoszyk on Culinary Characters Unlocked. I'm David Page. I'll see you next time. And hey, mention us to your friends. Tell them to check us out wherever they get their podcasts.